Good morning. Good morning, everybody. This is Phyllis. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys had a great weekend. I did. Um, just want to thank you to all my old subscribers and my new subscribers. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Hit that like button. Sorry, it's early in the morning, can't talk. And check me out on Sundays. I try to do a live stream or upload a video on Sunday. But I'm going to answer an important question this morning. It's been presented to me several times from some of my new subscribers that just relocated here to Atlanta, and those of ones are about to come here. Got a few that's coming in October and August. So this is for some of you guys. They presented the question to me about, since I stated in a couple of my videos about it's a great place for opportunity to start your own business. It is. It's a mecca for most people, and especially for African Americans, because black folks make up about, at least I think the last statistic I saw was 54% of the Atlanta population, which consists of the 9 metro counties here. So that is a significant amount of people for the city of Atlanta. But when you say Metro Atlanta, you're also including the 9 little surrounding counties: Cobb, DeKalb, Gwinnett, Fayette, Coweta, Clayton, and a couple others. You can look it up. I'm not going to waste my time giving you a history lesson, geographic, about Atlanta. That's one thing, number one, do your research. But I'm going to share a story with you right quick to help you to understand how I was able to take that leap of faith. Because, guys, if you don't have certain things in your mindset, it's going to be very difficult to actually start your own business. And so I really wanted to capture some of these things, and I have some little notes here. But I was able to be successful because, looking back over my life, I found that I have a diagnosis which I have come up with myself. It's not in the approved diagnosis for social service, but it's ADD. And it's, for me, that diagnosis is ain't done dreaming. If you don't have a dream and a vision, then it's going to be hard for you to start your own business. But for me, let me make a note. I don't want to be all over the place. I don't want you to hear this. First of all, I want to say I was diagnosed with ADD in an early age. As a child growing up in the deep South during Jim Crow time, it was hard for black people. It was really hard. And so, during that time, it was not unusual for most black people to, somebody have an alcoholic in their family. That's just the way it is, growing up on the west side. And that's where the majority concentrated people, black people, were down in the city. The area you call the hood now, West End, the colleges, the Bankhead, and all in the area. That's where I grew up. And so it was not unusual for somebody to have an alcoholic in their family, which I was not exempt. So we weren't poor, but given that, sometimes resources weren't always there. And growing in the midst of a lot of trauma and swearing and liquor and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go into that, but I always had, as a child, believed there was something better. So even before I knew about religion or God, I always had this sense of, there's got to be something better. There has to be a God, because he got to get me out of here. So as the story goes on, eventually he did. So I was able to go live with a minister, and she was a white minister. And she taught me a lot. And I lived with her for years. So I had a little, quote, privileged life until I became an adult, when I left her home and I got married. But unfortunately, life would have it, marriages end. Marriages break up for whatever reason. But I had a very difficult marriage, and this what started my journey in becoming my own boss, as I would say. After leaving that terrible marriage, I walked out with nothing but the clothes on my back and my 2 children. Somehow, this lady told me to go and get on welfare. I had never heard of welfare. So I did. I got on welfare. And guys, my check was $187. And believe it or not, my apartment, my first apartment after my divorce, was like $170. My rent was like $175. So you do the math. I moved in there and the ball started rolling. Boy, did my faith increase. I did a lot of praying to my God and your God. And he showed me how to take the skills and the training I had at that time, because I didn't have a degree, but I had taken child development. And he whispered to me in my ear, you can open up a daycare center. I thought, me? And the Lord was just speaking to me. And I took that leap and I got flyers and I started putting the flyers all around this complex. And this was a beautiful complex at the time. And it was nice. And before you know it, I had 6 kids to keep. And I was rolling the money. Then I started keeping kids in the evening. I had 1 or 2 in the evening, and I had 1 overnight. So at that time, my children were little. And I started making money. And I paid for 2 cars during this time. I had money in my safe. Put in the bank. They trusted about it. I had money in my little safe. I was doing very well. But that was the beginning of my dreams. And since that time, I've always believed that you can accomplish anything, because that is what gave me the faith to know that there is a God and that he does give favor to those that will acknowledge him. So what I'm trying to say to you is, for me, what works is when I did a couple of things. First of all, I acknowledged that there is a creator and that I did not make myself, and that there is someone greater than us, and that's our creator. Remember that movie Roots? When Kunta Kinte was born and father took him out and held him up and said, behold, the only thing greater than yourself. Guys, the only person, entity greater than you is your creator. So once you learn to acknowledge him and have a relationship with him and go to him in prayer, he will direct your path. So that's worked for me. Now, there are people that don't have God, I know that, and have become successful. Great for them. But for me, when I actually started doing that and acknowledge him in all my ways and accept the fact that, listen, there is an entity greater than me, which is my creator. So I try to remember that. And the second thing I want you to realize is that you got to have a vision. A vision to me is, and a dream is that you can see yourself doing something, and you're not sleeping, you can have your eyes wide open, but you see yourself doing this thing. And then that's your dream. And so what you need to do is keep that vision, that dream, write it down, put it on a wall and look at it, and make that dream come true with your creator's help. It will happen. So, and another thing about a vision, a dream, usually is something that you're passionate about. If you can see yourself doing this and not even getting paid for it, that's usually what you're going to be successful in, your passion. I can't really get into it. It's a quick video, but number one, acknowledging there is a greater person, entity than you and your creator, and acknowledge him and ask for his assistance, his help, and form that relationship with him. Have a vision, have a dream, and see yourself doing this. Okay, you got to have a vision, a dream. And who do you want to target? Who is your audience? Who is your audience? And you got to have a plan. Now, I took accounting 1 and 2 in college. Not talking about, you can have a business plan, but I'm talking about, this is a spiritual journey, a plan. What are you going to do? Because you're not going to build a house without counting the cost. You got to have a plan. Sometimes that plan may be as simple as stepping out on faith. I'm going to put some flyers out. That's a plan. Follow that plan. Plan A, plan B. And I have found when I had jobs. Yes, I had jobs. I had jobs. Later on, I got jobs, 9 to 5 jobs. But I still had a vision, a plan. So eventually I took a lot of the money that I had saved up from the business, then I put from my working for others, put it in my little plan, my little business plan. So you have to have a little hustle. Don't just rely on one job. Okay, it's good to have a job. You need a job to pay the bills. We all get that. But take a little bit aside and put it in your little kitty for your own business. Do that, guys. It works. You need a little hustle. That's how you hustle. Okay, the other thing, who you want to target. You got to know this. You need to know who you want to target. You can be all in left field. Who do you want to reach? What do you have to offer? What are you passionate about? What are your skills? It's not always training or a degree or education. What can you offer? We all have something to offer, and you have a gift. Everybody have a gift. That's another whole video. You need to identify your gifts. Okay. You need a support system. Now, a lot of times you don't have a support system. I didn't have a support system initially. I had God. Then I met friends, and they became my support system. You want to align yourself with people that have ADD, ain't done dreaming. Align yourself with those type of people, and keep the naysayers out of your life. And sometimes it's not good to tell everybody what you want to do. Tell it to your Creator. Write it down. And get you a few people that invested in your dreams and in your visions and your passion. And kick the other people to the curb. I'm telling you. Okay. Then the last thing I want to share with you is that you got to take a leap. You got to just, you may fall the first time, but that's okay. Get your business. Now, I can't get into the details. I know how to start businesses. My business LLC. I worked many, many years in social service for people, made them millions of dollars. So what I did, I took those same skills and that training that I got running other people's businesses, and I turn it around, and I have my own business. It can happen, guys. If I start telling you some of the things about what I've done, you said she's bragging. I don't want to brag. It's not cool to brag. It's not cool to brag. When I needed my bio for my business, it was hard for me to even sit at the computer and talk about myself. I paid somebody to do my bio, just a few dollars, but I paid it because it would appear that I was bragging. It's a lot of things. It's only one formal title behind my name, a BS in Human Services. But okay, guys, I'm going to tell you about the favor of God. I got my degree when my children were grown, okay? I finished my degree in 2010. Prior to that, I have been running programs, residential programs with $3 million budgets, 300 employees, master level people answering to me under me, my own administrative assistant. And you know what, guys? I didn't have not one degree. And the job before that was even much. It was the largest residential provider here in the state of Georgia. The second one I just mentioned was the second for a certain population. I worked with the DD population. The other one, emotionally disturbed children, the largest in Atlanta. In that position, I was there 10 years. I moved up, not one degree. I was operation manager for emergency shelter. Another whole ball game. People under me had master's degrees. I didn't have one degree. I didn't get that degree till later. But this CEO of this company trusted me and believed in me. And she was the type of person that said to me, I never forget this, she had more stock in people who had experience than people that had degrees. Now, I'm not undermining the importance of a degree. But for me, my degree was just a lifelong childhood dream. I've always wanted my degree because I got married right out of high school. Well, I was 25, but I worked. So that was not on my bucket list. It was not until later. But I'm going to tell you, that's another whole ball game, another whole video. I'm going to tell you how I got my degree. One way, I just can't, I'm so excited about the goodness of God and what He'll do once you start acknowledging Him and realize you are nothing without Him. And in this flesh, dwelleth no good thing. We are nothing without God, guys. So, let me stay on track. So, after I decided to retire at an early age, I got my own business. Now, I always keep a hustle. Everybody in my family's always been a hustle. Now, most of all my family members, my nieces and nephews, all of them are educated. Most of them, all of them are educated. I mean, high degrees, masters, and they're CEOs of company, and lawyers, and doctors, and dentists, and stuff. But you know what? Their mothers, my brothers and sisters, including my children, were just regular people, working them 9 to 5. As a matter of fact, most of my brothers and sisters didn't even have a high school diploma. Now, a couple of them went back to school and got that, but their kids are off the chain because they believe in the value of an education. Now, education, you all know there are a lot of rich, educated, fluent black people here. You all know that. You do the research, but there are people that's not doing so great. But the other side of that coin is there are people I know that don't have a degree and have a high school diploma doing much better than those with a degree. So don't get stuck on you have to have a degree or that everybody in Atlanta have a degree. You don't need a degree. You need some motivation. You need a dream. You need a passion. And you surround yourself with people that are going somewhere, that want to go somewhere, and that believe you can go somewhere. That's all you need. ADD. Ain't done dreaming. Ain't done dreaming. Don't give up. Those of you that are here, some of you still, I made a video about depression is real. It is real, but it's a spirit. Shake that spirit off you, pray that spirit off you, and keep stepping. Keep stepping, guys, because it's just so much to do. There's so much little time left to do it. Time is going fast, guys. It really is. You better get on this bandwagon and stop worrying, complaining about the traffic in Atlanta. Yes, it is what it is. Stop complaining. Stop murmuring. Traffic ain't going to get worse. Put some music in. Say your little word of prayer. And be thankful that you got a job to go to, okay? Be thankful that you have your limbs, your eyes, and your toes, and your feet, and that you can walk and you can speak. And stop complaining, guys. You know what? I used to tell a story to children about the donut. The 2 little boys wanted a donut, wanted something sweet. So the mom gave one of the little boys a donut. He started screaming and crying, screaming and crying. She did not understand. Why are you crying? Why are you crying? Why are you crying, Johnny? Why are you crying? He said, mine has a hole in it. Now, Mom just smiled because she knew Johnny did not understand. He hadn't kicked in yet. He was looking at a big old hole in that donut. And to him, that was a defect. She said, just taste it, Johnny. Johnny tasted it. And he knew that he realized it was good. So sometimes you're looking at the hole in something, but look at all the blessings and the sweetness around that. So stop focusing on that. Look at the big picture. And when you wake up in the morning, you're depressed. Everybody get depressed. It's a spirit, guys. It's a force that's designed to keep you down and to keep you sidetracked. You just shake it off and think about the goodness and the blessings of God and that dream and that vision that you're going to have one day. You know, before I even got my LLC, my girlfriend told me, she got hers first. She said, listen, write it down. Have a name. Even before you get your name registered, even before you get your business license, get a name first. Sit down, write it down, dream about it, pray about your baby. It's a new birth. It's a baby. It's a new birth, guys. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited about what God is doing and what He's going to do in your life. You get excited. Get excited. Life is wonderful. Life is great. Life is grand. And yes, there are challenges. Yes, there are challenges. But I want to read this one last thing before I go. There's a saying I found. Don't give your emotions too much reality. This is by Mordecai. I don't know who Mordecai is, but it says Mordecai. Again, don't give your emotions too much reality. Don't live in those emotions. Because if you keep living those emotions, giving too much focus, they become reality. You speak your detriment. Don't speak your detriment. Love you guys. Take care. And I hope this helped you. Hang in there. And remember, don't sweat the small stuff because it's all small stuff. Love you. Bye-bye.